Okay, so what I was just saying is that the body and the handle both need bend and squetches. Okay, and then our pumpkin needs to be able to spit, and I think seeds is appropriate for that. And so we need to model the seeds, and we need to model seeds, and we need to model a fly. It also would be nice if we could rig a particle emitter to emit those seeds for us, which we'll have to look into. So for now, let's work on the body and the stem, or the handle. I'll call that the stem. So, no, I'm going to keep on saying that. Okay, so let's go back to Maya. And with the whole mesh selected, I'm going to... sorry, I can't use my help box. So I need to go to the animation menu set and create deformer, and I want to go to nonlinear and bend, so I can create that bend. Okay, so don't need that. I want my window, I want my hypergraph hierarchies, that's what I like to use. And I need to rename this because there's going to be more than one thing that has a bend on it. So this is the OJack body bend. OJack body underscore bend handle. I'm going to go ahead and copy this text. Now if I select this bend handle and then I press this little cursor in the hypergraph hierarchy editor, it will take me to the input-output editor. And I need to rename this node as well. So I can control double click on it, and this is the actual bend. No, that's the bend handle is responsible for where the bend is located at in 3D space, and the bend node is responsible for the actual bending. So we want to keep those separate because, you know, if we didn't, we'd have bend 1 through 10 possibly by the time we're done. And who knows which one does what. Okay, so with that renamed, I'm going to go back to my hierarchy. And I need to go ahead and get this situated on the pumpkin. Let's select this. Let's see. Need to show deformers. I have my deformers turned off in my show menu. And I want to situate it. So I probably don't need it to bend from the bottom ever. So the low bound, pretty sure I can get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my curvature just so I can see what's happening. And I'm going to move this down to the bottom of the pumpkin, as far as I think it should go. Okay, that looks good. I probably need to increase my high bound so that it extends outside of the pumpkin. And then on my curvature attribute, I need to take note of how far I'm willing to let the animator to go with that. Okay, so this is a lot like the toothbrush that we already made. So I'm thinking about right there is as much as I'm willing to let the animator do. So I'll take note of that mentally. It's 40. I'm just going to go a straight 40. And then I can go back this other way. And it may not be the same each direction because, you know, my pumpkin's not symmetrical. But I think I will go to a negative 40. Okay, one more thing to check, just in case, is rotate the Y and see what it looks like from the other directions. And I think that's acceptable. I mean, it looks pretty cruddy from this angle, but my face is going to be on the top, so I'm thinking, you know, something like this angle, which should still look okay. Okay, so now I need to create a handle for my pumpkin. So I'm going to go to create, NURBS primitives, circle. I'm going to go ahead and slide this down against the ground, or the bottom of the pumpkin. And I'm going to go ahead and rename it. This is OJack main underscore control. I want to delete history on it. I don't want to delete all history because now I have history on the jack-o'-lantern that I plan on keeping. Okay, I also want to freeze transformations on it. Modify, freeze transformations. And now that I have this control created, I need to add an attribute to it. So, and from the channel box is the easiest way to do it. You go edit, add attribute, and this is going to be the bend, the body bend. I need to be specific because there's a good chance that we're going to have multiple bends on this single control. So I'm going to say a minimum of -10, maximum of 10 with the default of 0, and click OK. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to select this bend handle, select the actual bend node, then I'm going to go to animate. Oh, I can't use my hotbox, sorry. Okay, animate, set driven keys, set, and that loads in my appropriate node into the set driven key editor. Now I need to grab my handle and load driver. I'm going to grab this bend, body bend attribute, and the curvature attribute. I want to make sure that it's actually, the curvature is set to 0. And hit key. Okay, then I'm going to go back to my controller. I'm going to set it to -10. I'm going to set my curvature to -40. And key. I'm going to do the same thing. Go positive this time. Positive, key. So I've created my first attribute. Let's verify that it works. Okay, we're good. Now, I'm going to set that to 0. Actually, let me set it back to 40. And I want to create another attribute on this controller for the direction the bend goes. So I can bend it any direction I like. I don't want to edit the attribute. I want to create attribute or add attribute. And this is body bend direction. Okay, and instead of doing a negative and positive 360, which takes a lot of middle mouse scrolling to edit, I'm just going to do the -10 and +10 as my min and max, and go ahead and click OK. Now I need to connect this attribute to the bend handle. Okay, so I can't use that. Animate, set driven keys, or set driven key, set, and the rotate Y attribute is the one I need this time. I'm going to grab my driver, my handle, which is my driver. My bend direction is going to control the rotate Y, and I'm going to hit key. Okay, and go back to my bend handle. I'm going to change my bend direction to -10. I'm going to select the bend handle and change it to -360 and hit key. And I'm going to do the same thing but in the positive direction.